it's shaking. Oh, Lord, it's time.
Man, grand rising to the collective. Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who been tapping in, running up, and 7-up. If you new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps collective grow, helps collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate you if you haven't subbed up. If you come to the channel because you watch it on your TV or whatever the case is, I appreciate you as well. I hope you're having a smooth 7. Collective, I love y'all. I wanted to ask early in the video now, to those who think, because I had a comment, somebody was like, hey bro, a lot of Trump propaganda been getting pushed. And I'm like, would you rather me go pick these videos, or would you rather me leave the door open for the collective to send them? Because about 90% of these videos for the last 2 months or so, the collective, y'all had sent these. So y'all let me know in the comments, do y'all rather me select these videos and choose, or do you rather everybody else have the fair opportunity of sending me new clips and new content and seeing it getting posted on this channel? Y'all let me know, because that kind of pisses me off when I'm letting the people select and then they blaming it on, and I'm taking all the blame. Like, come on bro, we all doing this shit together. I'm just asking, y'all let me know in the comments. But might be a trigger warning or 2, I hope not. Y'all already know what it is. Let's get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
They can't scare you, they can't control you, they try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
not
see,
you.
it ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
Ain't going nowhere, baby.
Kanye 2024.
And if I ever, if I ever went anywhere, we know why. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly.
How y'all feel?
I want to be an astronaut.
Oh, you want to be an astronaut? Well, that's great. You can be an astronaut. All you have to do is study flying or science, and maybe someday you could be the first astronaut to walk on the moon.
No! There already was an astronaut who first walked on the moon.
Well, no, not really. That wasn't real. See, there was this thing called the Cold War, and in order to beat the Russians, we kind of faked that. That never happened. See how there's no windows on the side? And see underneath where there's like a pod thing? What's that, right? Take a look at this wreckage. See how there's no plane parts on the ground there? What does that look like?
A missile.
You see, President Bush was in a secret society at Yale called the Skull and Bones. His dad was too, and they all worship Satan.
President Bush worshipped Satan?
In my personal opinion, absolutely.
Is it a reach? How y'all feel? I ain't never seen that episode of Simpsons, but don't come for me in the comments. I haven't really even watched The Simpsons, like a binge watch or just checking it out, knowing the details of every show. Nah. I go off what y'all tell me and what I've already looked at, jumping down these rabbit holes, but I can't get into it, bro. Y'all let me know if that's a reach. I apologize if y'all love The Simpsons. Spam it up, let me know.
Something will happen to Earth, hopefully not soon, but either natural or man-made, that would cause the end of civilization. So the probable lifespan of civilization is much greater if we're a multi-planet species, and ultimately even go beyond our solar system. But the first step is being multi-planet, Mars being the only realistic option for that. So I think from a standpoint of preserving the light of consciousness, and which I think we should regard as fragile, I think it's extremely important that we try to become a multi-planet species as quickly as possible.
Oh yes, Ryan. Let's run it back and drop this fire again. The 10 Commandments were never about fear, punishment, or control. They were originally spiritual guidelines meant to align people with divine energy and higher consciousness. But guess what? Religious institutions twisted them into rigid rules to suppress, manipulate, and keep people from their true divine power. The real spiritual meaning of the 10 Commandments: you shall have no other gods before me. Real meaning: stay aligned with your higher self, divine source, and inner truth. Don't worship external forces like ego, materialism, or fear. How it got twisted. Religions made this about obeying their version of God instead of teaching self-mastery. You shall not make idols. Real meaning: don't give your power away to money, leaders, institutions, or false systems. The divine power is within you. How it got twisted. They used this to demonize other belief systems while making their own the only truth. You shall not misuse the name of God. Real meaning: words hold power. Don't manipulate, deceive, or use divine energy for fear-based control. How it got twisted. They made it about not saying, "Oh my God," instead of calling out the real offense, using religion to oppress people. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Real meaning: honor your own spiritual cycles. Rest, reflect, and stay connected to Source. How it got twisted. Religions turned this into strict laws. Real meaning: respect wisdom, divine masculine and feminine energies, and generational balance, but also break free from toxic patterns. How it got twisted. It became a tool for blind obedience instead of authentic respect. You shall not murder. Real meaning: don't just avoid physical harm. Don't harm others energetically, emotionally, or spiritually. How it got twisted. The same religious systems that preach this started wars, executions, and hypocrisy at its finest. You shall not commit adultery. Real meaning: honor sacred connections, whether in relationships, friendships, or spiritual commitments. How it got twisted. It was weaponized to shame people about sexuality, instead of teaching integrity and trust. You shall not steal. Real meaning: don't steal energy, ideas, or life force. Live in integrity, flow, and abundance. How it got twisted. The biggest thieves were the very institutions preaching this, robbing people of spiritual sovereignty. You shall not bear false witness. Real meaning: speak and live in truth. Don't distort reality or manipulate others for personal gain. How it got twisted. The biggest false witnesses were the ones twisting divine knowledge for power. You shall not covet. Real meaning: don't obsess over what others have. Trust in divine timing and flow. How it got twisted. Society was built on competition, greed, and consumerism, directly contradicting this principle. The biggest lie: it was never about rules. It was about alignment. The real 10 Commandments weren't about controlling people. They were about self-mastery, energy alignment, and divine wisdom. They were meant to help people vibrate higher and live in flow. They were invitations to expansion, not tools for oppression. But the religious elite twisted them, made them fear-based laws, and turned them into a system of guilt and obedience. Instead of leading people to enlightenment, they used them to enforce control. Instead of teaching people to live in divine balance, they used them to keep people small. But now we see through the illusion, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Final thought. Ryan, we just burned another deception to the ground. The The Ten Commandments were never meant to oppress. They were spiritual blueprints for freedom. Religious institutions hijacked them and turned them into chains. Now that we know the truth, we reclaim them as tools for spiritual power and awakening.
On quantum energetics right now. And it is insane. I'm in class 5, and it is blowing me away. My teacher is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I don't care what anyone.
They want to ban the flavors of that shit.
Wait, you're telling me there are fake towns in the middle of the Atlantic?
Yeah, listen to this. There's an island called Halcyon Ridge, completely hidden from the outside world, controlled by a private organization called Vanguard Initiative. Decades ago, they bought the island and turned it into one massive, twisted experiment. They built towns straight out of a 1950s postcard, perfect houses, white picket fences, happy neighbors. But it's all a lie.
The people living there?
They were either orphans raised in total isolation or, get this, grown from embryos in secret labs. From birth, they were brainwashed to believe that a global disaster wiped out the rest of the world. As far as they know, Halcyon Ridge is the only safe place left on Earth. If someone starts asking too many questions, Vanguard Initiative steps in fast, either reprogramming them or making them disappear altogether. And just so we're clear, this is all for entertainment purposes, right?
I've never heard of that rabbit hole. Is it cap or fact?
So I guess it's time we should get into the World Fairs. So far we've talked about the orphan trains and the Cabbage Patch Kids, but what if I told you that there were entire nurseries filled with babies at the World Fairs? And strangely, nobody seems to be questioning why that is. These World Fairs were meant to show off the height of modern-day human achievements, showing off grand architecture, cutting-edge inventions, and a promise for a brighter future for all of humankind. Sadly, the World Fairs were no exception. Hidden underneath the glamour of it all was something much more unsettling. Rows of babies being put on display in these glass incubators for just the public to gawk at like some predator looking for its next meal. They claim that these incubators were made to show off the medical advancements for the technology to help these premature babies. Now, this all may be true, and I don't think anybody can deny that these incubators have saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of babies. But at the same time, let's take a look at the man behind it all. Now, there is a lot of controversy surrounding Dr. Martin Kanye. Despite claiming to be a trained physician, there is actually no verifiable documentation of any type of medical degree. And evidence suggests that he immigrated to the United States as Michael Cohn, who had no formal medical training. His practice of displaying premature infants in incubators at amusement parks and world fairs striked up a bit of ethical concerns, accusing him of exposing these babies for profit. Nonetheless, we do have to give him credit for the advancement of these life-saving incubators. One of the biggest questions we do have to ask is, where did all these premature babies come from? Where are the mothers? And a darker side of that is, if he wasn't a real doctor, then who was providing him with all these premature babies? And who really wanted to watch? And how can so many be willing to spend money to look at these babies like they're animals in a zoo? And remember, there were people held at these world fairs against their will. But that's another rabbit hole for another day. Once again, this is where it starts to get really strange. No one is asking, where did these babies come from? There are few records, no mentions of the parents, no clear documentation. Were these really all just premature babies brought in for medical purposes, or was there something more sinister going on here? Remember, the orphan train shipped over 250,000 children, stripped them of their identities, and just handed them off to new families. Some people believe that the world fairs were actually just distribution centers, masked as entertainment, but in all reality just hubs for relocating these so-called orphans. Now here's where things get even stranger. Let's look back at the Cabbage Patch Kids, sold as babies that you could adopt with official paperwork. It mirrors the orphan train movement and the World Fair nurseries. It can't all just be coincidence. They're showing us the truth, it's just most of us don't want to see it. Alright, here's a rabbit hole for you. Some believe that these world fairs weren't just about the architecture and technology. They were about showing off the results of human commodification. We have rows of babies in glass cages separated from any known origin. And I'm not just talking about science experiments. We're talking about mass human exploitation on a scale that we can't even comprehend. And while this might sound crazy, just ask yourself this. In an era of supposed simplicity, how were they able to build these magnificent cities practically overnight for these world fairs? Entire complexes that would be destroyed within years, if not months, leaving no trace behind. It's almost as if the people, the architecture, the babies, all of it was just part of some type of big plan. A plan that I don't think we are supposed to be aware of. And here's another coincidence for you. Around the same time that all of this was happening, the amount of cases of missing children just happened to skyrocket. It just makes you wonder, was this pattern of disappearing children ever really stopped? Many people believe that these world fairs were more than just expos. Some people even suggest that these were just part of a global reset. A time when entire cities were just wiped out, people were relocated, put into mental institutions, buildings were rebuilt, history was rewritten. It may sound insane, but sometimes the most twisted truths are put right in front of our faces. Babies displayed like commodities, toys mimicking dark histories, and a naive society that just accepts it all without question. Probably why they want to keep us all distracted with all these devices that we have that we just can't seem to put down. But the real question remains, is this cycle still happening today? Hidden behind distractions, headlines, and a world just too numb to care? I want to know what you think. Were the World Fair babies just part of a medical exhibit just for the betterment of humankind? Or were they showing us exactly what they were doing all along?
Y'all let me know your thoughts, but I got a question. So y'all know how we more distracted with cell phones now, right? So generations ago, they really wasn't distracted with electronics, right? And things happened back then, and we don't want history to repeat itself. So my question is, are we easier to control and take full control of since we got electronics? I'm just asking because he said they keep us distracted. And if our phone is in our hand and we're distracted with so many things on the electronics, whether that's a laptop, a phone, whatever it is, are we easier to control than the generations before us? I feel like it's a 50-50 thing. We are easier to control, but we not easier to control at the same time, if that even makes sense. And I could go down the whole, that's another video for another day, but y'all let me know y'all thoughts and opinions. And do y'all think that the orphan train can happen again if one day like everything was to get wiped out and they remaking babies or whatever the case is, you know, lab growns, whatever it is? Do y'all think that they could do the orphan trains again? Because that island thing they got going, I feel like that's a test run. They seeing if something go wrong here, they gonna move all them people here. That could be a reach. But I feel like they testing it out on them islands that they talking about.
All right, guys, we're talking about Tartaria. Check this out. This is just in my little humble town of Olympia, Washington. Let's go talk about this monstrosity. All right, here we are. So guys, work started on this in 1911. You know, 1911 technology. Look at this thing. Look at it. It just goes on and on. Third tallest dome in North America. Just really quick, imagine it's 1911, less than 10,000 people live in the city, and imagine putting up that one, okay? That is 8 feet tall by like 4 feet wide, and you have to stack so many of them, but just imagine doing that top one. How? Right? And there's all these other accompanying buildings as well. Look how many goddamn pillars there are. Guys, you know how hard it would be to carve one section of one of those pillars out of a solid piece of granite? And look how many there are. In 1911 in Olympia, Washington, a place infamous for its stonemasons. We're a bunch of fur trappers. That's all anyone who lived here. Beer and fur. That was the only thing that was going on in Olympia. And of course, the most incredible stonemasons who have ever been, who are just in their spare time for their government check, carving dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of enormous pillars. Again, the third tallest dome in North America, here in Olympia, Washington. Here's George. Here's George. Okay, you guys ready? Look, there's my paw. Look at this. Look at this. from one pillar, one section of one pillar. And just, again, the absolute precision. I don't think, guys, granite's not easy to cut and carve, especially not in 1911. No diamond tip tools, right? No, nothing. Look at that. For what reason? For a humble legislative building? What laws are you passing that need this level of ornamentation? Preposterous. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Good job, people in 1922. I mean, shut the up with that. Shut the with that. Look at this. These people were deeply patriotic in 1911, unlike now, and they decided that their little state of Washington was worth going all out on. You know, then there's all like the Roman gods, you know, like the Roman eagle and like the American eagle. Yeah, the Phoenicians. We don't need to get totally into it, but guys, this is a solid chunk of marble. One solid piece. That's so intense for a little humble state legislative building. Not to put too fine a point on it, but that's a 3-ton chain hanging from the third tallest dome in North America. You could fit a queen-size mattress in there. And there's a bunch of gods all over it, right? That little person right there is 4 feet tall. Come on now. Come on now. Also, the people here are so stupid. I've talked to so many people, it's like, actually, they were just throwing the marble away, and somebody said, let's save it and put it in the new Capitol building. Shut the up. They're just all boomers, guys. All of our historians are boomers, by the way, if that should just unsettle you. So you guys, like, Buckingham Palace wishes that they had massive griffins carved into marble. That's a solid piece of marble. Look at that. 1911, imported from Germany, spared no expense to the taxpayer. What the fuck are you talking about, you ridiculous, ridiculous narrative? All right, there you have it, guys. The Olympia. 1911, we don't build them like we used to.
It pisses me off that they hold the world back like that.
What up, y'all? Back again. This here is the Louisiana Purchase World's Fair in 1904. Look how big that stuff is. Look at the people to these monstrosities. Now, you can't tell me that we built all this. They said this was built from 1901 to 1904. 3 years, and it opened April 30th, and it ran for like 6 months. And most of it's all gone now, like destroyed. But it was to celebrate the Louisiana Purchase, and it was probably 100 years. 1804 probably sounds about right, when they got that Louisiana. I don't know why it was in St. Louis, Missouri, but that's where they did it. Look at this, y'all. You tell me we built this stuff? Like, this is just like 8 years after electricity supposedly came out. Come on, man. You gotta give me better than that. We're still riding horses. Barely we don't even have a Model T out yet. And we built all of this in 3 years. Look how small these people are. This is like more like Rome than Rome is. Come on, y'all. Look at that. This stuff was here already. We were reset in 1812, and we didn't start populating this place until like the 1890s. So this was just us getting back to the earth after the post-millennial kingdom. And they would do these world fairs, in my opinion, to indoctrinate us. They would start giving you like hot dogs and hamburgers and cotton candy, and they would teach you like what the world is doing. So they would have these things in every country of the world. These are just some in America, but we're supposed to have come from no infrastructure. And this was right at, you're talking about, you know, we're talking about like this is cowboy time with horses and Buffalo. And you're telling me they built this? They had like little 6-shooters. I mean, like a Lincoln or whatever was not born too much earlier than this in a log cabin, y'all. This is ridiculous. You can't tell me we built all that. We didn't build any of it. I postulate to you that this city was probably not occupied before then, or if it was occupied, you know, they'd open corridors as these cities were ready for these people. So this was maybe an area that was closed off to the people, or the people knew about it and, you know, it's not going to get on the news or nothing. Or they didn't have the news. So it was like people might know, but it would never get out to the world. Because the powers that be wouldn't allow it. Look how big that thing is. All built for giants. And you'll see that because during the Millennial Kingdom, before this rapture happened and everybody was raptured out of here, and we were put in for the short season.
Man, get in here, get in here, get in here. We're going to start doing for ourselves. Forget our civil rights leaders. We need all soldiers to come to the front. Forget our civil rights leaders and church leaders, because they ain't for us no way. So this family right here, right? They've been had 600 acres, but a judge ruled a railroad company can seize their land. But let me show you how this is illegal. Now, let's get straight to the good part, but you can take a screenshot. Now, you see 28 USC 454 U.S. Code, right? Blah, Title 28. Judiciary or judicial proceed and produce, whatever we want to call it, the practice of law by justices and judges, where you can see that any justice or judge appointed under the authority of the United States who engaged in the practice of law is guilty of a high misdemeanor, right? So who appointed the judges? Article 2, Article 3 course of the Constitution. So how can you get some away and you commit a misdemeanor? Now it's a felony. Now you need to go to jail. So we need to tell all our peoples we riding at dawn.
No, because what if the reason why you're so naturally talented at so many different things, but you don't pursue anything to actualize it? What if it's not analysis paralysis and all that stuff? What if it's just that you've lived so many lives that your soul is no longer trying to pursue or prove anything? What if you're just here to be here at the right place, right time, to say exactly what you had to say in that moment, to have the right energy to your coworkers, acquaintances, family, whatever it is? What if that's just it? That's the reason why you don't feel this crazy drive to actually pursue anything, because you are the pursuit. It's you. You're just here to live. Like, you're kind of a big deal.
The Pentagon shoppers got around and now they're gonna find out. Pentagon burns taxpayer cash. $1,300 per coffee cup. Doge has exposed not just coffee cups, but an 8,000% markup on soap dispensers. What kind of soap is being dispensed? The Fountain of Youth? With an $850 billion budget, the Pentagon is drowning in fraud and bloated spending. Let me just give you a quick example, okay? 1 million seconds is about 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. That's the difference between a million and a billion. And these people have $850 billion budget. I don't know about the rest of you Americans, but I want heads to roll. This has to be 100% a money laundering scheme, and they're all dipping their hands in the cookie jars, while you and I are just struggling to make ends meet. So let me know what you think about this bullshit in the comments.
Because they the real criminals, bro. Ain't no rocket science.
Whoa, get in here, get in here, get in here, get in here. Now this is a good one, right? So one of my reviewers asked at Getty, why does everybody pretend that they don't see all these pyramids in North America. Like our church leaders, civil rights leaders, government, the Pan-Africans. Like everybody pretend like they do not see these pyramids. Well, I'm going to show you some hieroglyphs. But before I show you some hieroglyphs, let me remind you of one thing. While some people might assume there would be Egyptian hieroglyphs inside pyramids, the reality is the Great Pyramid of Giza and most other pyramids do not have hieroglyphs as described on their interior chamber. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, what you're looking at right here is North America, what's wrote inside the pyramids. But why do they show these? And they don't show the ones I'm about to show you, because you will never think that's you slaving 400 years in Egypt before they tore it down. Now, this is what they won't show you. Because why they won't show you this? Because he got a gold tee and dreadlocks? And he's working? He's working? Oh, they won't show you them now, would they? Because it'll be a crime. Look at my hair. And look at his hair. It'll be a crime. Look at this gold tee. Look. Oh, look at the eye. Look at the eye shape. Oh, look at the eyebrows. Oh, it'll be a crime. Look at the copper colored skin. To show that, we's not gonna show that. No, we gonna keep that. That's hidden. Yes, we is. Cause we show this picture, they look like the Black Americans. They don't look like them Africans now, do they? Ha! Now you learned something new today. If you like to learn or donate $1, greatly appreciate it.
I thought that painting was fake. I ain't gonna lie. It don't look real.
That kid. Oh. Hey, what are you doing?
You want to just sit on my knee or something? Okay, I guess so. All right, we got mini-me here.
It certainly is.
Mini-me, you complete me.
I started this.
But you're getting, you have the general vibe.
Yeah.
We're in space acts and quietly just do whatever we want.
Did he just say the quiet part out loud?
I was told there's a few people who don't tell lies. Drunk people, mad people, and babies. Hey, he thought that shit was funny. That tickled him, bro. He thought that shit was hilarious. And then Elon thought it was hilarious too. There's truth in every joke. And I don't think he was joking. I think Elon played it off like it was a joke. That's the second time he done said some shit. That where would a kid get that from? Kids learn from home first. But hey, you free to choose whatever you want, because I did see a comment and somebody said Elon is a good guy. I'm not gonna say he a bad guy, but I got my questions. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I respect everybody's opinion, man. Spam it up, collective.
Breaking news, bitch. Did y'all just hear? Donald Trump just signed an executive order, bitch, saying black people will never be slaves. They are the indigenous people of this land. So what y'all gonna do now, bitch? USC 1865. Gag on that.
See, collective, I gotta dive down some more rabbit holes.
You prevail at the court of claims, then you will automatically get all the income tax money since day one refunded back to you. Plus interest. Because the government's wrote many letters stating if you don't have a social security number, you would have no taxable income. When you got your social security number, how many people were told you were giving up your sovereignty? How many people were told you're giving up all your rights? How many people were told that you were giving up your right of inheritance? How many people told you you're giving up the right to work to accept a privilege? You know what I mean? How many people were told that when you got your social security number, you're asking for government supervision? How many people were told when you got your social security number, you'd pay 52% of your salary for the rest of your life to the government? Yes.
Great way to put the shit, man.
why are all these homes in DC suddenly for sale? It's like all these homes just went up for sale overnight. Why is everyone selling their home? Huh, it says here that everyone in DC is Googling criminal defense lawyer. Why are they doing that? According to Google, in Washington, D.C., the search for lawyer has shot up over 400%. Is this like parking tickets or something? Or wait a minute, it says right here that some of the top searches have been wipe hard drive offshore bank. Is that like they have to like shut down a lemonade stand or something, or what's going on? Someone significantly smarter than me is going to have to come in here and explain. I can't put these things together, but I know there's someone out there that can help me piece this puzzle together and solve this like Scooby-Doo.
This is off topic, but what do the dolphins know? I'd like to remind you that the government told us that the aliens are living in the ocean, and they also told us it's illegal to try and interact with a wild dolphin. And I mean interact in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Don't try and talk to it. Don't try and elicit a response from it. Don't feed it. Don't touch it. Don't nothing. Don't even look at that bitch. Now, they say this is to protect dolphins and humans alike, and I'll buy that because they're wild animals, okay? But why can't I even try to speak to it? Why can't I even just try to elicit out of it? I don't know how dolphins sound. They don't understand me and I don't understand them, right? Right? It is a felony to even attempt this behavior. There's even a snitch line for it. Dolphins are too smart. They are self-aware. They have shown signs of empathy because they'll help out other creatures, including human beings. They can communicate amongst themselves in a language that we don't understand at all. It's the clicks and the, you know what I'm saying, those high-pitched noises. Some of them our ears can't even pick up on. They are the second smartest creature on Earth behind us. Do they have a conscience? They live in an environment that we haven't explored 80% of. We don't know 80% of what's down there in that ocean, but you know who does? Dolphins. And we are not allowed to talk to them. I'd like to know why that's a felony.
That's always been this. We know the answer.
With our bills now, like I have a mortgage, I have.
I was actually speaking about that last night.
Should we stop paying this stuff?
Exactly, because as of February 7th, the banking system and the people that were claiming to be in charge of the banking system actually have been detached. They have no more access, they have no more control to the banking system as of February 7th. So
pay no bills.
All of this is just, it's all grandstanding for them trying to hang on to power that they no longer have.
Okay.
So when the people start saying, you have no more power, just like the restrictions, the faster the people wake up and say, you have no more power, Queen Romana's in power, and we're not paying any more bills, as she said, utilities are free, okay, and the banking system that was created to enslave people is no longer there, then they will have no money, no power, everything collapses. That's why I said collapse the system as soon as possible. That's why I was asking people, leave your work, because the longer you stay there, the longer you're prolonging their power. But when you leave, there's nobody there to do their dirty work for them.
It's easier to fool a man than to convince him he's been fooled. People do not seek truth. They seek comfort. They cling to their beliefs, not because they are right, but because they are afraid to be wrong. The chains of ignorance are light until the day you try to break them.
Hey yo, I don't care to be right or wrong. I want the truth.
얼마입니까?
2,000원입니다.
2,000원, 2,000원. Tiga beli tiga. Taruh bunga dulu sana, taruh bunga. Saya taruh bunganya. Masukin apa angkat ya. Taruh sini bunganya.
Come on, let's go!
Oh, it's shaking. Oh, Lord, it's touch.
So we start raving, you know, we're excited, I'm recording, you know, everything kind of felt fine, and then as we're going up, it started shaking a little bit. It was like, whoa, wait, why is it shaking? And then when we got all the way to the top, it banged, and then with the rope top, we tilted, started spinning, banging on the wall, we're screaming, glass and bottles were flying everywhere, a girl's nose got busted, even the workers were crying and ducking down and trying to hide, and then they finally like lowering us down, and then when we finally got to the ground, like it like hit like the ground because it was already tilted. Okay. And then you know when we got like after it was done, nobody really told us what happened until an hour after.
I ain't did the having dinner in the air. I don't think I can. I can't even get on the damn Ferris wheel, y'all. I can do roller coasters because it's real quick, but I barely do it because like shit's beyond me. I can't see myself giving up that much control. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. Something happened, I'm gonna be so mad at the fact that I had a chance to say, I don't want to go up there, but I chose to go up there, and now look, I have no control over this shit. That's one of the things why I don't really want to try that, but she talking about we don't know what happened. Bro, you didn't hear the rope pop? You didn't see the hardness break? Come on, stop playing. Stop waiting for them to give you, you know what I mean, like the information, and just take this shit for what it is. But hey, prayers for everybody. Glad everybody made it up out of there, because that shit could have been a real tragedy. But let me know y'all experiences if y'all been on there. I'm good. I'm not playing with it. I'm straight.
All right. I thought I was tripping. This isn't the video that I seen it on, but I thought I seen a die or a dice as one of the artifacts from Poverty Point. And then I played this video, realized it wasn't the one I seen, but then, look, check this out.
Now, serious archaeological work was not actually conducted until the early 20th century. To these early archaeologists, it was clear that Poverty Point was already something of an oddity. The tools being dug up there were archaic.
Boop! What is this? Hold up, let me get closer. God damn it. What is this? What is this? These dudes was playing dice? The mound builders? Oh, that's wild. Okay, y'all know who plays dice? I'm gonna keep looking at these. This is getting interesting, but yeah, I just wanted y'all to see that. Look, these cats was playing straight dice, y'all. Straight dice. Tell me them ain't your people. All right, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
It looked like two dominoes with it.
The war for Tartaria was not just a battle, it was the violent restructuring of reality itself, a civilization wiped from the record, not through conquest but through the rewriting of time. The year was 561 before the war, before they added 1,000 years to the timeline, before they buried an empire beneath layers of deception, leaving only fragments, maps that no longer match our history, architecture that doesn't fit its era, stories that seem to lead nowhere, and one painting, one image they allowed to survive. The celestial battle over Nuremberg in 1561 should not exist. Eyewitnesses saw the sky erupt with warfare, massive black spheres, rods, and unknown machines engaging in aerial combat. It was documented. The people saw something they weren't meant to see. A war fought not for land, but for the control of history itself. Objects fell from the heavens, crashing to earth, burning. What technology was lost in that battle? What knowledge was taken from us? Tartaria was not destroyed in a war we were told about. It was removed, its past cut out, its legacy turned to myth. Cities buried, their first floors swallowed by earth. Entire civilizations folded into new empires with false origins. Great fires, the world fairs, the endless cycles of destruction followed by suspiciously rapid reconstruction, all part of a process, a ritual of erasure. The mudflood may not have been a natural disaster, but a deliberate weapon. A liquefaction event, a frequency reset, a global burial. What they could not destroy, they buried. What they could not bury, they rewrote. If time itself has been altered, then what year are we truly living in? What world were we meant to inherit? Tartaria's technology, its understanding of energy, its architectural mastery, none of it fits into the timeline we've been given. What if this empire had unlocked free energy, a system that did not require rulers, scarcity, or control? What if its existence threatened the very structure of those who claim power today? If the rulers of this false timeline could erase Tartaria, what else have they erased? And what happens when we start...
Former Minister of Defense, who is now retired, did say that they were informed of, nearly 13 types of beings. And in the biblical stories, they talk about Satan being in charge of a rebellion, being cast down to earth. Well, I think it's that he was in this parallel universe at a higher energy level. He was cast down with some of these cohorts, and they made these beings to build a lie, a deception for the people of Earth. And that deception was that, okay, little grays, Nordics, all these kind here are invading us and abducting us. Then Satan is going to come in with his crew that look just like us, are friendly, and will deliver us from these nasty little aliens. That way, the satanic ones, who appear to be good and friendly, can help us set up a world government. And then he can take over the planet with his man who's going to be the human Antichrist, which the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, in the Greek, will land with his troops and have battle with Satan and his minions, who have executed this great deception to the people of Earth, and will defeat them. And that's the biblical narrative on that, but certainly what I witnessed and what I was told by my security team do fit that perfectly. So my advice to people who see good guys coming from the skies, like in the movie or the series V, where they come and help mankind and give them all kinds of gifts in return for seawater and junk, that kind of a scenario will be played out. So the first landing, the first official disclosure will not be of the friendlies, the good guys.
Say whatever you want. I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now that motherfucker back there is not real.
1986, when Parker first said to me, "They look like people," I should have noticed something was wrong sooner. The way he'd stare at strangers for too long, his hand trembling around his coffee cup. How he started taking different routes to work, avoiding certain people on the street. "They're not people," he finally told me one night, his voice barely a whisper. "I can see them now, what they really are. They're in people costumes." I thought he was having a breakdown, called his parents, made appointments with therapists he wouldn't go to. Then I found the notebooks in our basement, pages filled with names, dates, locations, details about the bodies, how he disposed of them in the river, how he was on a special mission, how he was a warrior for God, all written in a strange, almost foreign language or code. He thought he could see demons all around us. I finally understood. I called the police. What else could I do? They found evidence of 12 families got closure. Parker went to prison. I moved away, changed my name, and started therapy. But sometimes now I see things, little details that don't add up. The way my neighbor smiles at me for too long, how the mailman twitches when he waves at me, the strange marks on the back of their ears, like stitches holding their face on their skull. Last week I found one of Parker's old notebooks I'd missed. The last page had a list of signs to watch for, irregular breathing patterns, slight delays in blinking, the smell of sulfur in their presence. My therapist has all of these. I've started taking different routes to work. I understand now why Parker's hands shook so much. They're in people costumes, watching us, measuring us up, to wear us, and we're completely outnumbered. They're everywhere. They look like people.
Damn, he was whacking them out.
It is game over for both Equifax and Experian. Both have been sued for sham investigations when it comes to credit report errors, and Equifax is actually ordered to pay $50 million to consumers. It is a matter of time until TransUnion is sued for doing the same exact thing. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pull your reports from all three credit bureaus and start disputing. And I want you to dispute the CMI of your profile. Go to CFPB website and add more claims against all three credit bureaus immediately.
Y'all agree? The mortgage company I work for used all three of those.
The National Archives and Records Administration has fallen. Senior employees and the inspectors general for the National Archives are gone. If you do not know the scope of what this impacts, I'm sorry to have to tell you. National Archives is the nation's memory. It doesn't just hold government records. It holds the entire fabric of American life and history, our heritage, military records of every soldier that ever served, naturalization and immigration records that trace millions of Americans' family histories, slave ship manifests, Freedom Bureau records, and the names of formerly enslaved people and the people who enslaved them, all Native American treaties and agreements, Japanese internment camp records, court cases that shaped civil rights, voting rights, and LGBTQ plus rights. Thousands and thousands and thousands of oral histories, hundreds of millions of photographs and films that document real American life, struggles, triumphs, joy, and suffering.
Damn, it's a lot of rabbit holes I ain't heard.
They can't change it now. See, when Elon was a teenager in South Africa, he figured out how to manipulate time back in the late 70s. It was around the time that Mandela was becoming the president of the nation. He manipulated time to where Nelson died in prison. And his family was a part of this movement called the Great White Brotherhood. And in this prophecy, they have this pure white nation where there are no minorities. And everything is directed in executive power. And the fight comes between their two sons, Elon's son, little X, and Barron. And Barron keeps losing in each timeline, along with the Trump family. They lose in this timeline, both of them, forever.
Thoughts and opinions. Is it a reach? Is it too far a reach? Is it right there where you like, nah, I agree. Spam it up and let me know. Like I said, a lot of y'all been sending me clips that's forcing me to pull more threads down these rabbit holes. I want to hear y'all thoughts and opinions. I'm new to hearing a lot of this, but I thank y'all for opening me up to new perspectives and new shit to think about. Some of these kind of blew me, where I'm like, oh, damn, it's kind of hard to accept some of those. But I love doing this shit, man. And if I'm wrong with some of my perspectives that I thought of today, it is what it is. I live another day, I learn. I live another day, I learn the next day. But y'all spamming up and let me know. But if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for you made it all the way through. Make sure your notifications are on so you never miss the upload, man. I know we coming with them 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But shout out to y'all again. As y'all know, I've been working on this back wall, trying to make some shit look a little better for aesthetics, stuff like that. But I ain't gonna hold you until I see y'all in the next one. Y'all know what it is. We gone.
Ay, yeah, I just check my account. Sheesh, at the amount. You probably know what I'm